What's your number one tip to win a negotiation?
For one, if you go into a negotiation thinking there's going to be a winner, you've already lost.
I agree with that. I see, and I've trained a lot of buyers agents in the beginning where they feel like they do have to be the negotiator of the year and they have to be sometimes aggressive and, I guess mean in a negotiation, but I don't really think that's the case.
I was recently talking to a business owner. He was closing 55% of his leads.
Whoa, 55% is a very high close rate. I'm interested to see what else he says here.
I could tell you something you could literally do right now in this room, and probably maybe one person would do it.
I can say that often I'll say how to get leads and a lot of people don't want to do it. Generally, if you ever think about that relationship building side and that referral network building, that is going to be confronting for some people. And even though they know how to do it, often they avoid it. Okay, so it's time to record another reactions style video. The team have put together a few reels that they say have gone viral and they'd like to see my reaction and get my take on it. So let's look at the first one.
What's your number one tip to win a negotiation?
For one, if you go into a negotiation thinking there's going to be a winner, you've already lost because there are no winners.
I agree with that. I see, and I've trained a lot of buyers agents in the beginning where they feel like they do have to be the negotiator of the year and they have to be sometimes aggressive and, I guess mean in a negotiation, but I don't really think that's the case. Anyway, let's see what else he has to say.
There are no winners in negotiations because both sides need to win. So,
yep, both sides need to win. And the important thing here, though, is that how do you make that happen? I believe that the best way to make that happen is spending more time finding about the other party, the selling party, their situation and what's happening behind the scenes. The more information that you can gather about their situation, the better position you are to help position a win-win deal.
You go into a negotiation for the other side to win, because if the other side wins, then you win by default. And the way you do that is you enter every deal with a willingness to walk away.
So he said you enter every deal with the willingness to walk away. I agree with that as well. Even though often you'll enter deals and it's a property that someone really, really wants and they're very attached to it and they really need this deal. There's a few things I'd suggest you do, but let's just see what else he has to say.
You don't need it, which is why the person in the negotiation who holds all that power is the one who cares the least.
Agreed. And how do you do that as a buyer's agent? We come across this all the time where we enter into that negotiation and it is a property that someone really loves. So it feels like it's really high pressure and we really have to win it. The best way that I've found to be able to go in and not have that need to win and to remove that, attachment to winning is to find more options and have more opportunities available so that if you don't secure that property, you have other things to move to. That way it removes that attachment and it keeps things moving and it actually helps often a client really decide whether that is the perfect one or not. So when we find something that we're in a negotiation on, I always say to the team, keep finding more options, keep finding more options as you go. Don't just rely on this one actually happening just because the client loves it. If you find more options, you give them more opportunity, you then also actually give them a chance to really test the two and see, is it one that they really love or were they enamored by it for some other reason? So that's really key to being able to go in and not be attached. Let's see the next one.
I was recently talking to a business owner. He was closing 55% of his leads.
Whoa, 55% is a very high close rate. I'm interested to see what else he says here.
Not shows, not calls, leads. Most people in his position close 10% of their leads. And I was like, dude, how are you doing that? I pay one girl full time. She has no other job but to call leads the moment they come in. That's it. And think about how crazy that is. If you call a lead within 60 seconds, you have a 391% increase in sales. It's almost a 5X. The cost of actually achieving that is the cost of one maniac that you have to pay to stop whatever they're doing to call the leads. That's it.
Okay, so interesting point there, right? So employ someone just to call all of the leads. I do believe that there is a correlation between getting an inquiry or a lead and how quickly you reply. There is some data around that says you increase your percentage chance of being able to secure that business if you call very quickly. However, I don't know that I agree with, in our space, in the buyer's agent space, just employing someone to make all of those calls. I think the danger in that is that they jump on the call and they don't really have a depth or an understanding of property knowledge or the market or the areas that that person is looking in, and you can really shoot yourself in the foot and ruin your chance of winning that particular client, because straight away they'll be able to sense and they'll feel that that person doesn't really know what they're talking about. So I'd say be careful with this one. Okay, let's look at the next one.
Never say these 3 words in sales. Don't say expensive. Instead, say premium. Expensive means overpriced. Premium enhances the perceived value of your product or service.
Don't mind that, using the word premium instead. I think the point here though is that consider the words that you're using when you're speaking with clients or presenting properties, or even when you're speaking with clients about maybe using your services. One thing that we change, instead of using the word fee, use the term investment, because it actually is an investment. Done right, there should be a return on that investment as well. Let's see what else he has to say.
Much better outcome. Don't say the word cheap. Instead, say affordable. Cheap means cheap quality, poor quality, substandard. Affordable means that you get great value for the money. Don't say try.
So he said, don't say the word cheap, say affordable. I think, again, it depends on the context and where you're using the word. If you're talking about a property and you're going through and you're saying that looks affordable, that fixtures and fittings, for example, like that flooring or that kitchen bench top, that could be perceived as feeling cheap anyway if you say affordable. So I think you really need to choose your words carefully. I did make that mistake once of saying that something was cheap, and the client said, oh, I actually really love that. So I felt quite bad about that. Instead, I've realised that my perception of something could be completely different to somebody else's, so choose my words carefully. And when a client asks maybe, is this a good quality or not, I would then just position it in terms of the quality. I'll say, well, if top quality is 10 and poor quality is 2 or 3, I'd say this sits as at a 5 or a 6. So it's still good, but it's not as expensive as these other options, and it's not as cheap as these other options. That's another way to position it.
Try means there's a good chance that you're going to fail, not going to like it. Explore implies the opportunity for learning and growth in a positive.
So he says, instead of say try, say explore. I do like that. I hear the word try in our space quite a bit, actually. One of my team came into me the other day and said that, and we'd set a goal for the day as to what he wanted to achieve. And he said, okay, I'll try and get that. And what I find with the word try is you subconsciously give yourself a back door. You go, oh, well, I tried, I didn't quite achieve it. So I've replaced the word try with I will in terms of achieving results. That's a really good hack, and it doesn't give you an out. So that when you say I will, you don't just stop at a certain level of effort. You keep going until you achieve that thing. It's really critical.
Cold DMs.
3 out of 10.
Referrals.
4 out of 10 because they're very inconsistent.
LinkedIn out.
So he said referrals, 4 out of 10 because they're very inconsistent. I would agree that they're very inconsistent, but I would still rank them a lot higher, especially in our space. They take a long time to build up because there's relationships involved, but also think about the fact that that then means there's a big barrier to entry. Not anyone can build the referral network. And actually, you'll find in times like now where online really changes, consumer sentiment's changed, that things will revert back to relationships. So if you've built a referral network, yes, that will take you longer to build. It's not necessarily as consistent, but if you build that relationship with multiple people, it can be quite reliable.
LinkedIn outreach.
5 out of 10.
TikTok ads.
5 out of 10.
YouTube content.
8 out of 10.
So I said YouTube, 8 out of 10. I think for buyer's agents, it's a long haul. You've got to spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of energy, like on a podcast, for example, to build credibility, and you've got to get yourself into being more of a content creator type person rather than spending your time being a buyer's agent. I think you're better off still going for that referral relationship.
YouTube content's a banger, but it's like a tree, like it takes a while to develop and actually get clients from it.
Facebook ads.
10 out of 10, hands down. The
So Facebook ads, 10 out of 10, hands down.
easiest way with no social proof to get clients.
Google ads.
Easiest way, no social proof. Well, I think for buyer's agents, 10 out of 10 for a Facebook is just not relevant. It's a long haul. It takes a long time. You've got to learn different types of ads. You've got to test different types of ads. I think there's some data around now that suggests that you should be doing 20 odd different types of ads at a time. So it's a long learning process, and you've got to sink a fair bit of money into it.
Clients.
Google Ads,
7 out of 10.
SEO,
5 out of 10 takes too.
So Google Ads, SEO, again, Google Ads takes a lot of time to refine. And in our space, there's a lot of competition for the more popular keywords. So you've got to spend quite a lot of money to get those leads as well. SEO, he's ranked 5. Probably say I would agree with that. Takes a long time to build. Can be good though once you get yourself up into the right spot.
partnerships,
7 out of 10. Incredible acquisition channel if you can land the partnerships, but it's difficult to get them.
Partnerships, I'd agree. So if you can build corporate partnerships with bigger organizations and firms that will talk to the types of clients that you could also service, that can be really valuable. It takes a relationship building approach and a long-term approach as well. But again, it can be very, very good.
I can tell you, but you're not going to do it. Nobody's
Okay.
going to do it.
Last one.
I can tell you, nobody's going to. I could tell you something you could literally do right now in this room, and probably maybe one person would do it. I bet nobody does.
I can say that often I'll say how to get leads and a lot of people don't want to do it. Generally, if you ever think about that relationship building side and that referral network building, that is going to be confronting for some people. And even though they know how to do it, often they avoid it.
I bet nobody does.
Oh, my next meetup.
No, you can literally do it right now. You can pull out your phone and you can open up Facebook, LinkedIn, and you can make a post that says, "Hi, my name is Henry. Just so you guys know, I buy houses in Northern Stockton."
So it's just saying you can open up Facebook, LinkedIn, do a post, and then you'll get all of these leads coming in. I urge you to try that. I don't think it will happen, so I don't agree that it's the best way to get leads in our space particularly. He's talking about putting a lead up to say he wants to buy a house, so that could potentially work in that space. So that's my reactions this week. We've got something really exciting happening though. I've now built an online community for elite buyers agents. The link will be in this video. You can see it below. Click on that link, jump in and join. It's free, there's no cost to it. And I am hosting a webinar at the end of July. It's regarding the first step to become an elite buyer's agent. It'll be an hour-long webinar. There's no cost to it. Jump in and join, and I look forward to seeing you there. Stay tuned for the next episode.